Hi folks, now today on Pro Tips, we're going to tell you how to train for climbing if you live somewhere flat or if you're doing the indoor training thing. Now when I started riding, I was in school at University of Florida. The University of Florida, Gainesville, Florida, it's so flat, it's all downhill. There's two hills to be found. There's nothing more than a minute. Horrible place to be a climber, but I had to make do with what was available. So what I would do, and this is the super old school method, the oldest school it gets, is you stick it in your 11, or actually I've got a 10. Shout out to SRAM Axis. You stick it in your hardest gear, you look for a headwind, and you go right into it. And what you do is you simulate the climbing position. So, you know, you're in Florida, you basically just live in your drops. But when you're training for climbing, you sit like this, you sit upright, and kind of pretend that you're going uphill. So you just grind away in the hardest gear, and that kind of simulates the consistent strain that you're getting. Like when you hit a regular climb, feel free to use your little ring and normal gears, but the very steady strain of climbing will simulate that. So I would just do kind of like 10 minutes on, 10 minutes off into a headwind. And when I did that, I would come from Florida directly to like a real bike race somewhere with hills, and I would do all right. I'd be able to hang, and that was pretty much like my best simulation was that move. So that's the number one, is the old school, find a headwind and put it in the 11. That's what they say. The second kind of tier, the mid school, would be if you're on a trainer, stick a phone book or two under it. You know what I mean? You don't have to do. Do they have phone books anymore? Get a copy of Draft Animals. You kind of need two. Don't do this. Don't put yourself way up here. Be reasonable. You know, give yourself an 8% grade. But there is, when your legs are a different position, when you're sort of more upright, you're using the quads more, using the hamstrings more, and it is a little bit more of a specific muscle group that you hit when your body is at the climbing angle. So simulate that on your trainer. Again, like 10 minutes off, 10 minutes on, but focus on a big gear. That's sort of the strain that you're looking for. And then the last method, now we're in super new school, you guys. This is super new school. You've got your Wahoo Kicker climb. I don't want to see the hill. Actually, I do want to see the hill that's this steep. I really do, and I want to KOM that thing. But you can stick it here. This guy will automatically sync to your Zwift or whatnot. Yeah, you do this for a while. I feel like I'm about to tip over. I won't. It's heavy. You can't tip over. But I'm ready. This is some solid fake climbing right here. This is like a 33% grade, and it's got a remote, sticks to your handlebars. Or if you're real lazy, you can go downhill too, almost. You know, if you want to pretend go downhill. But that's if you're not into that. So that's part one, is the on the bike portion. Slow that guy down. Woo. There's no brakes on that. So that's the on the bike part. Now off the bike, the other thing that you're missing if you're trying to simulate climbing is there is some upper body involved. So if you think about climbing, you're doing this, especially when you stand up, you're torquing your arms back and forth. So the other thing that I would work on, this is a gym thing, but you can do it at home. You can get, you know, manlier weights if you want to. These are 7.5 pounds. But basically, I guess this is a bent over row. I'm not a gym person, but I would just go to the gym and kind of look around and figure out what muscle groups I wanted to hit. So this is basically what you're doing when you're smashing up a hill on the bike. It's just this right here. So probably heavier weight and slower motions, but think about your core, think about your and do that when you're on your tops too in the old school method. But think about all that when you're doing this workout. Stay real steady on the upper body, and pretend you're climbing. Pretend you got handlebars in the middle here, and go that distance and get the shoulders and whatever. Is that a tricep? I don't know, but it's the only arm muscles that I ever worked was that right there. So hope that helps. Hit your hills, hit your fake hills. Sorry, Florida. Best you can do. Peace.